that's when I started now realizing that there are some people who are too powerful, because sometimes I would be sent to homes. I would be sent to people's homes to go and attack them. But there are some homes I would totally miss. I would not access them. There are some places I would not even go close, because I would find fire and angels surrounding those homes, because they are prayerful. They have a prayerful lifestyle. So such places are not easy to access. Some restaurants, some businesses I would be sent to attack, but I could not have a successful, mission, because the owner of that place is a prayerful person. One thing about prayer, you're not laboring in vain. It may appear like it's taking a while for your prayer to be answered, but when you start getting results, you will not regret the fact that you invested your time in prayer. I'll give an example. There is a pastor who was doing well in the business sector, and the enemy did not like that, so he sent me to attack this pastor. We had never met with that pastor before, but they have a screen in the kingdom of darkness where they pull the image of somebody they want to attack. They study that person's life, and then they send you to attack the person. With this pastor, they were not able to study him so much. Of course, they would look at the children and the wife, but beyond that, they did not know how they could attack him. So they sent me. He was coming to Ginger for the first time, and he was coming to wed a couple. So they told me that you find time, and then because your parents are church members, so you can introduce yourself to him, and then as you're interacting, try as much as possible to screen or to scan him and see where we can find any loophole or any weakness in this man. So I go to the church. And when I went to that church, he was wedding, and he even came with his wife. He introduced the wife to the congregation, and the wedding ceremony went on very smoothly. But pastors, after the service, the people who come to greet, not everybody who comes to greet is actually a saint or a believer. Some people come on missions. So I saw him in church, but when I went to greet him, I could not see him. I could not see him, and I got so puzzled. I would go like the other people, I would bypass him and talk to other people instead. Then the person I'm looking for, I'm not seeing him. And guess what? I went to as I'm getting out of the hall, going to the wedding reception, I'm hoping that he's also going to come at the wedding reception. So because I hadn't even planned to go to the wedding reception, I start asking, excuse me, yes, do you know where the wedding reception is going to be? And they direct me to the gardens. And he said, hi, how are you? I said, I'm fine. What's your name? I told him, my name is Erica. And then I asked him, and what's your name? And he said, I am Titus. So I go, as I get out of the wedding, now I'm going to wedding reception. They ask me, my masters asked me, have you been able to track the person that we are tracking? I said, no, I failed, but somebody has directed me to the reception. And they said, who directed you to the reception? I said, I'm going to the reception, but somebody called Titus directed me to the reception. And they said, that man is powerful. It's the same guy that you're looking for that directed you to the reception. and I had no idea I was talking to him. I got confused. I was supposed to find a loophole in the man's life so that we can now back on that to destroy him. But now I looked for him. I could not see him. I was just bypassing him and talking to other people. So I'm getting out, and he's also getting out. And then he directs me to the reception, but he asked me for my name. So I tell him Erica, and then he tells me he's Titus, and he's the one we are looking for. So I find out, oh, I was looking for the same guy, and he just directed me to the wedding reception. So they told me, cancel that mission. That guy is powerful. He's going to destroy you. So I canceled the mission, and they decided to send stronger people than me. Then the other time, and that's when I started now realizing that there are some people who are too powerful, because sometimes I would be sent to homes. I would be sent to people's homes to go and attack them. But there are some homes I would totally miss. I would not access them. There are some places I would not even go close, because I would find fire and angels surrounding those homes, because they are prayerful. They have a prayerful lifestyle. So such places are not easy to access. Some restaurants, some businesses I would be sent to attack, but I could not have a successful, mission, because the owner of that place is a prayerful person. An example is, there's a man, he was married to a prayerful woman. He was not born again. Okay, he had nothing against Christians, but he was not a religious person.
He didn't value those things.
Yes, he was a business person. So the wife was born again, and she was raising the children in a Christian way. Now this man, because of the wife's prayers, he started flourishing in the business sector. And there were competitors, and those people were contacting my grandmother for power, for witchcraft. And then grandmother called me and she told me, Erica, I want you to go and do this for me. You see that man that the other gentleman was talking about? I said, yes. And she said, I want you to go and ask him to exchange some money for you. And then you bring that money. We want to bewitch him so that our client gets customers. I said, done deal. I've never failed. So I ran to the store. When I went to the store, again that day, it was now like about 3 days after my auntie had gone. Now there again, I did not find the man. I found the wife. So when I found the wife in the store, one thing I observed, this woman, she used to listen to Christian stations on a radio. She had a small radio, so she would tune a Christian station and put the loudest volume. And then at lunchtime, they had lunch hour where it was time to pray. She would be praying and selling things to people, but she's praying. Sometimes she would be praying in the spirit, but she's selling. So me, I had no idea that this woman is the reason as to why my auntie failed in the previous mission. So I cross the road, I go straight to the store, and she looks at me and says, how are you? And I said, I'm fine. So instead of saying, please assist me with change, because the woman was so kind, she said, I just ended up buying such a party. I just bought things things for eating. And I was not even interested in those things. So I carried everything I bought to my grandmother. And my grandmother said, I know, I have known today that I have weaklings. I thought I was training strong people, and only to find out that you're all weak and useless. And she said, and my auntie said, wait, who did you find at the store? I said, the wife. Then auntie's like, that's the reason. That woman is prayerful. The man is not prayerful. And I don't know why the days we go there, we find the woman in the store. So now we fail to do that because the woman was praying, and the man was surviving, not knowing that it's the wife's prayers that are helping him to survive and thrive in the business. And now the next meeting was, how do we separate the two? So just know, if you're in a marriage that is working and things are doing well, just know that the enemy will want to separate that marriage because of that blessing that he wants to steal. So this man, my grandmother started strategizing on how she could break this union. And now they were looking at the man's weakness, because the man is not saved and the woman is saved. So they were like, we leave the woman alone. Let us try to target the man. If we can get this man to fall in love with another woman, then there we can lure him into weakening the woman's prayer life, because now the woman will be full of bitterness after all that we have gone through together and all that. This is how you're paying me. So if you're in a marriage and it's doing well, yes, thank God, but keep that marriage and keep that business and everything that God has given you in prayer. Because if this woman reduces on the prayerful lifestyle, that is the end of their marriage and their business and their income, and it's going to affect the children.